We're going to look back a bit now. The television channel Talking Pictures shows film and TV from before the 1970s, and this year has turned 10 years old.
It was created by father and daughter team, Noel and Sarah, born out of what was called a love for what some people call the golden age of cinema.
And Noel, who's the executive producer of Talking Pictures TV and managing director. Very formal titles we got here, haven't we? Managing director. Sarah is here as well. We like a title.
Absolutely.
You've had a long career in television.
Yeah, I hope a bit longer yet.
Yeah? So you started working in TV. What era are we looking at?
60s.
60s?
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
And the point of what you're doing with the whole idea is to create curiosity about what programmes used to be, or give people something of what they remembered?
Well, most of our audience were either there and watched them at that time, or they're revisiting them because they kind of missed them a bit. And we find it awakens or reminds them of times they were happier in.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Now, we're showing little samples here, which you can have a look at with us. And we're zipping through. There was a lot of stuff just then. People will be going, I remember that, I remember that. And I'm doing the same thing now. It's too fast, actually. Why would we cut this so...
Yeah.
But there's a lot of moments, as you say, that trigger people's memories.
Absolutely. Life in the past lane, we call it, Charlie. Life in the past lane with Talking Pictures TV. So I think one of the most special things is our relationship with our audience. You can ring us, you can have a chat, you can tell us what you want on in the afternoon, and we get so many letters and calls from people that are looking after sufferers of dementia, because our channel takes them to a time where they're safe. We don't play news, sorry.
Well, there are other places for that, aren't there?
Yeah.
This is the whole point.
And they just feel safe and wallow in a bit of nostalgia with Talking Pictures TV for as long as you like.
Do you know, it's interesting because song has the power of doing that, obviously, as we've heard. But especially for those who are caring for someone with dementia, it is a time for them to also maybe get a bit back of the person they are losing and spend that quality time together.
And it does, the things trigger. The first car they had, and suddenly it all starts to work. And we get many calls about that, saying, it's almost that moment when there's silence in the home and on goes the channel and it's, inflatable time, which is great.
You said that people call up and ask for things to be put on in the afternoon. Are you that nimble?
No.
I was going to say.
Some people say, I'm going out at 4 o'clock, can you play it tomorrow? So we kind of say,
sweet.
actually, we
love
can't
it.
do that, but we'll try.
What is the most kind of popular genre, I suppose, or kind of type of programme? Is there a series that people always ask for and really enjoy?
Oh, Zed Cos and Dixon of Dock Green that we played, they were the most requested.
Yeah,
weren't
the
they,
sort
Dad?
of gritties, crime ones.
Oh, yeah,
The good old
They
crime
love that,
ones.
because you've got all the young actors coming up and, oh, look, there's so-and-so. Got Young there.
Where do you source it all?
Everywhere. I spend my life looking in dark corners and think we've just resurrected the old Danziger library, and I was looking at a brand new master we've done, which is beautiful because it was shot originally on 35mm. And there's a very young, beautiful, and she's always beautiful, Nanette Newman. But she'll be thrilled because this hasn't been seen in years. Yeah. And she looks about 80.
What is it, a film?
It's called The Vice. It's a crime caught in the vice. It's not VIC.
When you say you found this material, I mean, the world of television is obsessed by the rights to things and who owns it. So, I mean...
Dredging.
How do you, how do you come by...
You dredge. The things get missed over, they'll go for a big deal, a big library with thousands of hours. Well, we couldn't afford that. So, little boats, bigger ships, that sort of thing. So we look for areas where we might pick up 6 films or a series. Well, this is a big library.
Dad's like a proper celluloid saver. So if you've got a British Bee in your archive that you don't want, we'd love it.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's so interesting because we talk all the time about streaming, don't we? And everyone kind of, television's dying, streaming's the way forward, be it news, any TV series. But actually, you cannot forget there are people who just want some security and something to know what's coming up next and not have to choose.
I'm anti-streaming to a huge degree. I think it's like eating... We all love chocolate. You wouldn't eat 3 bars, would you? in one go.
Well, I don't know.
You might, maybe not 4 then. And eventually streaming will die out because people will have bloodlusted on.
I think, you know, more than kind of a discussion on that, there's a space for both.
Really?
Just when technology... Look, once upon a time, you probably didn't want a mobile phone. And I bet you've got one now.
Yeah, but I can see the benefit of that.
I think there's value for both. I just think it's so easy in this world to kind of go, right, streaming's the next new thing, we're going to jump all on board of that.
Yeah.
And
Not for our audience.
No, absolutely.
think
and it needs
They
to be
like the
served.
event. They need to know that on Wednesday night it's
8
Dixon
o'clock.
or it's Rumpole or the Bailey. We get complaints if the series is finished. I'm in at Wednesday. Where is Rumpole?
What have you done?
It's finished.
Well, if you had to pick something that has given you maybe the most delight in having, you know, something that might register with our audience, something.
Public Eye.
Say?
Public Eye. With Alfred
remember
Burke.
Public
I love it.
Frank Marker, One Gas Ring.
Yeah. It just encapsulates a little bit of us all, really. The man that fights against life that's, you know, as one door closes, another slams in your face, you know.
Do you have to stream secretly? Do you get on Netflix or Amazon, whichever one, Apple,
we did
Disney?
launch an app. We have actually got an app. Yeah,
Did you
Dad
know
doesn't
this?
use it.
Did you? Yeah,
I
that's
have
streaming.
nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with it.
We have actually got. Well, you know, I'm trying to cover all bases, as it were. But our audience are the ones that, you know, get their TV magazine and highlight exactly what they want to watch. And, you know, and we are the place to go for appointment telly, I think.
Remember when tellies used to have you used to have to lift things to open up the screen?
Still do,
That
Charlie.
cabinet.
Come to Talking Pictures.
It's really nice talking to you. Thank you very much.
Really lovely. Noel Cronin, Sarah Cronin Stanley from Talking Pictures Television. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.